If you're over 60, how you sleep tonight could determine how you wake up for the rest of your life. Let's move beyond the noise and talk about what's truly at stake in a story I'll never forget.
It began with the music. For Brenda, a retired music teacher of 77, the piano wasn't just an instrument. It was the keeper of her memories, the voice of her heart. Every morning, she'd sit down and let her fingers dance across the keys, playing the familiar Chopin nocturnes that had been her companions for decades. But one Tuesday, the dance faltered. Her right hand, once so precise, felt distant, a stranger. The notes she intended to play remained trapped somewhere between her mind and her fingertips. She dismissed it as morning stiffness, a touch of arthritis. But this was different. This was the quiet, unnerving whisper of a life-altering change, the silent echo of a stroke that had arrived in the dead of night. Brenda was a woman defined by her precision and grace. From her home in the rolling hills of Pennsylvania, she had spent 40 years teaching children the language of music. Her hands had guided thousands of small fingers, corrected countless mistakes, and applauded every small triumph. In retirement, that precision had turned to her three great joys: her piano, the delicate art of calligraphy for letters to her grandchildren, and the patient tending of her prized orchids. But the silent stroke, a thief in the night, began to dismantle that identity piece by piece. The confident penmanship in her letters became a shaky scrawl. The delicate task of repotting an orchid now felt like a monumental challenge. Her world, once a symphony of control and beauty, was becoming a frustrating cacophony. The days that followed were a series of quiet surrenders. She'd sit down to write to her eldest grandson, to share a story or a piece of advice, but her hand would betray her, the letters slanting into an unreadable mess. There was the flicker of embarrassment as she tucked the unfinished letter away. Her orchids, once a source of pride, now seemed to mock her with their delicate needs. She'd reach to mist their leaves, and a tremor would run through her arm, a wave of frustration washing over her. The deepest cut came when her family visited. They'd gather around the piano, just as they always had. But now, she would just smile and shake her head, the quiet sigh of defeat, a wound in the heart of their family tradition. That evening, surrounded by the silence of her home, the full weight of her new reality settled upon her. It wasn't about the piano or the letters. It was about the loss of connection, the loss of self. She looked at her own hands, lying still in her lap, and a single, devastating thought surfaced from the depths of her fear. They stole my voice while I was sleeping, and I never even heard them coming. The next morning, the sun streamed in, illuminating the room in a way that felt different, hopeful. Her gaze fell upon that beginner's music book. It was a memory of defiance, of teaching a child that a complex song is just a series of simple notes, learned one at a time. A new thought, quiet but firm, took root in her mind. This wasn't an ending. It was a new composition, a different, slower melody, perhaps, but one she could still learn to play. Her perspective shifted. The question was no longer what did I lose, but how do I begin again? Her journey back wasn't a miracle. It was an act of painstaking reclamation. She worked with a therapist, relearning the simple movements she had once taken for granted. The payoff wasn't a return to the Chopin nocturnes. It was the profound joy of signing her name on a birthday card. It was the quiet victory of watering her orchids without spilling a drop. And one afternoon, with her youngest grandchild beside her, she sat at the piano and, using only her left hand, slowly picked out the melody to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It was the most beautiful music she had ever made. Brenda's story is a powerful reminder that the quiet hours of the night hold immense power over the waking hours of our day. You might be listening to this and thinking, that's just a story, or, my sleeping habits are fine. I've been doing this for 50 years. I understand that skepticism. But what if the habits we believe are safe, the positions we find most comfortable, are secretly creating the perfect conditions for a silent disaster? What Brenda didn't know, and what so many of us are never told, is that stroke prevention doesn't just happen in the doctor's office. It happens in your bedroom, every single night.
The truth is, much of the common advice we've received about sleep is dangerously incomplete, especially for those of us over 60. We're told to get 8 hours, but nobody tells us how. Today, we're going to change that. We will journey through 9 distinct nighttime habits, starting with foundational knowledge and building to a revelation at the end that might just be the most important piece of this entire puzzle. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. It's about understanding the why behind the risks so you can protect your brain, your independence, and your future. I need you to stay with me until the very end, because the final hidden danger we'll uncover is one millions of us do every single night, thinking it's perfectly harmless. Before we dive in, if you're ready to take control of your health, hit that subscribe button. And a quick important reminder. This information is for educational purposes. Please consult your doctor before making any significant changes to your health routine. Now let's begin. Foundational habit number 9, sleeping immediately after a heavy meal or drink. Let's start with a ritual familiar to many, a hearty dinner, maybe a glass of wine or bourbon, and then heading straight to bed, feeling full and drowsy. It feels like the perfect end to a day. Yet what feels so comforting can become a significant stressor on an aging body. After 60, our digestive and circulatory systems don't operate with the same resilience they once did, and that late-night meal or drink can trigger a cascade of events while you sleep, creating a perfect storm for stroke risk. When you eat a large meal, your body must divert a significant amount of blood to your digestive system. For a senior with already narrowing arteries, this can mean a temporary drop in blood flow to the brain. Alcohol adds another layer of danger. It initially widens blood vessels, causing that drowsy feeling, but as it wears off overnight, a rebound effect occurs. Your vessels constrict and your blood pressure can surge, often during the early morning hours when stroke risk is already at its peak. To understand this, let's use an analogy. Imagine your circulatory system is a city's water supply system. A heavy meal is like opening every fire hydrant in one neighborhood. It drastically lowers the water pressure everywhere else, including the most important buildings like City Hall, which represents your brain. Alcohol then is like a faulty pressure regulator that allows the pressure to drop dangerously low before suddenly surging, threatening to burst the oldest pipes in the system. Therefore, this combination creates an environment of instability right when your brain needs stability the most. This doesn't mean giving up enjoyable meals or a drink. The key is to allow at least 2 to 3 hours between your last big meal and lying down. This gives your body time to begin digestion without competing with your brain for resources. If you do have a drink, have it earlier in the evening and be sure to hydrate with water. This simple shift in routine honors your body's changing needs and protects your brain from unnecessary turmoil. Environmental secret number 8. Sleeping in a cold room without proper neck support. Many of us believe that sleeping in a cool, crisp room is the secret to a good night's rest. We turn down the thermostat, maybe even crack a window, and curl up under the blankets. For a mature body, however, a cold room combined with the wrong pillow can quietly become a threat. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at regulating temperature. A cold environment causes something called vasoconstriction, a narrowing of your blood vessels to conserve heat. This is especially risky in the neck, where the critical carotid and vertebral arteries supply blood to your brain. This cold-induced constriction becomes even more hazardous when you add poor neck support. An old flat pillow or one that's too high can bend your neck at an awkward angle. This misalignment, combined with narrowed vessels, can physically pinch and reduce the flow of life-giving, oxygenated blood to your brain for hours at a time. This isn't just a comfort issue, it's a circulation crisis happening in slow motion. Think of those arteries in your neck as flexible garden hoses. In a warm room with your head properly aligned, water flows through them freely. But sleeping in a cold room is like leaving those hoses out on a frosty night. They become stiff and less pliable. Poor neck support is like putting a sharp kink in that now stiffened hose. The flow is drastically reduced. As a result, even a small amount of plaque or a tendency for blood to thicken can be enough to form a clot in that area of slow, turbulent flow. A balanced environment is essential. Aim for a room that is cool, not cold. Health experts often highlight that a temperature around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit is optimal for older adults. The real payoff comes from investing in your pillow. Use a medium firm pillow that supports the natural curve of your neck, keeping your head aligned with your spine. This simple combination ensures that your vascular hoses remain open and unobstructed, protecting your brain while you sleep. Consistency, key number 7. Sleeping after skipping blood pressure or heart medication. This next one is a habit born not of comfort, but of forgetfulness or a moment of feeling fine. You get distracted, you run out of a prescription, or you simply think, what's the harm in skipping one pill? For those of us on medication for hypertension or a heart condition, that one little pill is often the only thing maintaining stability in a system that can no longer regulate itself perfectly. Skipping an evening dose can undo all its protective work, turning your sleep into a period of high risk. The danger is rooted in the body's natural rhythms. Blood pressure normally dips at night, giving your cardiovascular system a chance to rest. Medications like beta blockers or ACE inhibitors are designed to facilitate this process and prevent dangerous spikes. However, when you miss a dose, you remove that safety net. Your blood pressure can surge unpredictably during the night, putting immense strain on the fragile blood vessels in your brain. It's like being the captain of an old ship sailing through a storm. Your medication is your trusted navigator, constantly making small adjustments to the rudder to keep the ship steady and on course through the turbulent waves of your body's fluctuating pressure. But skipping your dose is like telling the navigator to take the night off in the middle of the storm. The ship is left unguided, crashing against the waves and at risk of springing a catastrophic leak. Consequently, that one night of instability can be all it takes for a clot to form or a vessel to rupture. This is why non-negotiable consistency is paramount. The payoff is profound. A stable, protected brain. Make taking your medication a cornerstone of your bedtime routine. Use a weekly pill organizer. Set a recurring alarm on your phone. Ask a loved one to give you a gentle reminder. This isn't about just following doctor's orders. It's about actively manning the helm of your own ship, ensuring you navigate the night safely every single night. Warning sign number 6, frequent tossing and turning. We often dismiss a restless night as a normal part of aging. Aches and pains, the need to use the restroom, we assume it's just something we have to live with. But chronic tossing and turning may not be a symptom of poor sleep. It may be the cause of a much deeper issue. For seniors, this constant movement can be a warning sign from your brain that it is not getting what it needs. In a younger person, shifting in bed is no big deal. But in an older body with stiffer arteries and less responsive circulation, every sharp turn or abrupt change in position can temporarily alter blood flow to the brain. This creates brief moments of what doctors call hypoperfusion or reduced blood supply. Over the course of a night, dozens of these micro-disruptions can create a state of vascular instability. It prevents your blood pressure from dipping into the healing, restorative state of deep sleep and keeps your stress hormones elevated. Imagine your brain is an incredibly sensitive, high-performance engine that requires a perfectly steady and consistent flow of fuel to run properly. Deep, restful sleep provides that smooth, steady fuel line, but a night of tossing and turning is like having a fuel line that is constantly being kinked and unkinked. The engine sputters, it strains, it never gets to run at its optimal restorative level. As a result, this chronic instability and stress can lead to inflammation and create conditions where clots are more likely to form in the turbulent fuel. It's time to reframe the problem. Treat your restlessness as a symptom to be investigated, not a habit to be endured. Is your room too warm? Are you consuming caffeine too late? Could a body pillow help stabilize your joints and prevent jerking movements? The payoff is transforming your sleep from a battlefield into a sanctuary. If you are consistently restless, speak with your doctor about it. It's a crucial conversation that may reveal an underlying issue, like sleep apnea, that needs to be addressed. Your brain is trying to tell you something. It's time to listen. The comfort trap number 5. Sleeping with a heavy blanket over the head. For many, this is a deeply ingrained habit, a retreat from the world that started in childhood. Pulling the covers over your head to block out light, muffle sound, or just feel that cocoon of warmth feels incredibly safe and comforting. This cocoon of safety, however, can create a dangerous microenvironment for an aging brain. What feels like a sanctuary is actually limiting your most critical resource, fresh air. Inside that small pocket of space under your blanket, you are slowly rebreathing your own exhaled air. Over several hours, oxygen levels begin to drop and carbon dioxide levels rise. A younger body might tolerate this, but at 70 or 80, your brain's resilience is lower. This state of mild hypoxia, or reduced oxygen, puts stress on your heart, causing it to work harder and your blood pressure to fluctuate. It can also cause your blood to thicken, making clots more likely. The terrifying part is that you feel nothing. You're asleep, feeling warm and secure while your brain is being silently starved. Think of your brain as a finely tuned fireplace that needs a constant draft of fresh oxygen to burn cleanly and efficiently. Pulling the covers over your head is like closing the flue. The fire doesn't go out immediately, but it starts to burn inefficiently, producing more smoke, waste products, and less heat, energy. The embers begin to die down. Therefore, over the course of the night, your brain is functioning in a suboptimal low-oxygen state, which is a well-known trigger for vascular events in vulnerable individuals. Finding a new way to create that sense of sanctuary is essential. A high-quality, soft sleep mask can block out light far more effectively. Comfortable earplugs can silence the world. Investing in breathable, lightweight bedding can provide warmth without trapping stale air. The payoff is giving your brain the one thing it needs most to repair and restore itself overnight: abundant, clean oxygen. You don't have to sacrifice comfort for safety. You just have to redefine what true comfort is. Common mistake number 4: sleeping upright in a recliner. The recliner often becomes a refuge for seniors struggling with back pain, acid reflux, or shortness of breath. It can feel like the only place to get a comfortable night's sleep, so much so that many abandon their beds altogether. While the recliner may solve one set of problems, it can create another, more insidious one. Our bodies are designed to rest horizontally, allowing blood to circulate evenly. When you sleep in a semi-upright position for hours, you put your circulatory system at a distinct disadvantage. The issue arises from simple gravity. In a reclined position, blood naturally pools in your lower legs. This sluggish flow is a prime condition for the formation of deep vein thrombosis, or DVT, blood clots in the legs. For an older person, whose blood may already be thicker and vessels narrower, the risk is significantly higher. The danger is that a piece of one of these clots can break off, travel through your bloodstream and lodge in the delicate vessels of your brain, causing a stroke. You wake up, or perhaps a loved one finds you, and the damage is already done. Your circulatory system is like a vast, complex river system. When you lie flat, the river flows gently and evenly from the highest mountains to the lowest plains. But sleeping in a recliner is like building a dam in the lower part of the river. The water flow becomes slow and stagnant behind the dam, and silt or clots begins to accumulate. This means the entire system is put under stress, and there's a constant risk that a large chunk of that silt could break free and be swept toward the most critical part of the network, your brain. Now, when it comes to sleeping in a recliner, it's especially important for us to approach this with awareness. If you must sleep elevated due to a medical condition, a safer incline is necessary. An adjustable bed that can elevate your torso while keeping your legs more level is a far better option. If that's not possible, using a firm wedge pillow system in bed can achieve a similar effect without the dangerous pooling in your legs. The payoff is protecting your brain by ensuring that your body's river continues to flow as it was designed to, even when you need to be elevated. The surprising risk number 3: sleeping flat on your back without a pillow. This might sound like the most natural position in the world. It seems harmless, even beneficial for the spine. Many people adopt this habit, believing it's a pure, simple way to sleep. For a body over 60, however, natural isn't always optimal. As our blood vessels lose their flexibility with age, sleeping completely flat, with your head level with your heart, can compromise the critical process of draining blood from your brain. This creates a subtle but dangerous situation. The veins responsible for carrying deoxygenated blood away from your brain now have to work against gravity without any assistance. This can cause blood to drain too slowly, leading to pooling and increased intracranial pressure. In the quiet early morning hours when blood pressure naturally rises, this stagnant, slow-moving blood in your neck and head is a perfect breeding ground for clots. It's a silent traffic jam in the most important vascular highway of your body. Imagine the drainage system of your brain is like the plumbing in a 2-story house. Lying flat is like trying to drain the upstairs sink when the pipes are old and slightly clogged, with no downward slope to help. The water just sits there, or drains incredibly slowly. But simply elevating your head slightly, with 1 or 2 supportive pillows, is like adding a gentle, consistent slope to those pipes. Gravity becomes your ally. It assists the flow, reduces the pressure, and allows the system to clear itself efficiently. As a result, the risk of a dangerous clog or a clot is dramatically reduced. So a beautifully simple change is all that's needed. Slight head elevation. We're not talking about propping yourself up high, but about a gentle 20 to 30 degree incline. The payoff is immense. A good, supportive pillow that cradles the curve of your neck doesn't just provide comfort. It provides a crucial mechanical advantage to your circulatory system. It's one of the easiest and most profound changes you can make to protect your brain while you rest. The dangerous posture, number 2, sleeping face down. Sleeping on your stomach, the prone position, can feel incredibly cozy and secure. It's a habit many people have for their entire lives, enjoying the gentle pressure and sense of being tucked in. And yet, this position of comfort forces your body into a posture of profound vascular stress. To breathe, you must turn your head sharply to one side for hours on end. This isn't a gentle stretch. It's a prolonged, forceful compression. The risk this creates is twofold and severe. First, that sharp neck rotation can physically squeeze the vertebral arteries that run up your spine and supply blood to the back of your brain, the region controlling balance, coordination, and consciousness. Studies have shown this position can reduce blood flow by over 40%. Second, the pressure of your head sinking into the pillow can compress the carotid arteries in the front of your neck. Blood flow is slowed, veins are kinked, and once again stagnant blood thickens and forms clots, waiting for the morning surge in blood pressure to send them directly into the brain. This is not a gentle metaphor, it is a mechanical reality. Think of the main fuel line to a car's engine. Sleeping on your stomach is like parking the car every night with the front wheel turned sharply, putting a hard 90-degree crimp in that fuel line for 8 hours straight. The engine is being starved of fuel all night. It's a miracle it starts at all in the morning, and it's no surprise if one day it simply doesn't. This means you are actively, physically choking off the blood supply to your own brain. A conscious effort to change this lifelong habit is critical. The goal is to train yourself to sleep on your side or your back. A firm body pillow can be a great tool, as hugging it can simulate the comforting pressure of stomach sleeping, while preventing you from rolling over. The payoff is nothing short of life-saving. It's about removing the nightly mechanical obstruction from your brain's vital supply lines. What feels cozy might be putting deadly pressure on the very arteries that keep you alive. The vital truth number 1. Sleeping on your right side with your arm tucked underneath. We have finally arrived at the most crucial revelation. This position is overwhelmingly common. It feels completely natural to lie on your favorite side, slide your arm under the pillow for that perfect sense of support, and drift off to sleep. As a brain doctor, however, I must tell you this is one of the most deceptively dangerous sleeping habits for a senior. This position of ultimate comfort creates a state of prolonged, direct compression on the entire vascular and nerve bundle of your dominant side. The danger is immense. When you lie on your right side, the weight of your head and torso puts direct, hours-long pressure on the critical arteries of your neck and shoulder, including the subclavian and the carotid artery. This is the main highway for blood traveling to the right hemisphere of your brain. Compressing it is not a small matter. Blood flow slows, the veins get squeezed, and in that quiet stillness, stagnant blood begins to form clots. But it's even more dangerous on the right side. Our bodies are not perfectly symmetrical. The heart pumps blood with tremendous force, and the main artery, the aorta, arches to the left, meaning circulation on the left side has a more direct, high-pressure path from the heart. The path to the right side is less direct and more susceptible to compromise from external pressure. Let's use our final and most important analogy. Imagine the blood supply to your brain is a major river. Sleeping on your left side is like lying on the bank of the river. It continues to flow freely. But sleeping on your right side with your arm underneath you is like causing a slow, deliberate landslide that, for 8 hours, pushes a wall of earth and rock into that river, narrowing its channel to a mere trickle. The pressure builds up behind the blockage, and the flow downstream is starved. Therefore, you are not just slightly impeding flow, you are creating a chronic nightly circulatory crisis on the side of your body that is already at a slight disadvantage. This is why it is so important to prioritize sleeping on your left side. This position allows for optimal blood flow both to and from the brain and supports heart function and digestion. Keep your arms resting forward or alongside your body, not trapped underneath. Use a contoured pillow that properly supports your neck's weight without you needing to use your arm as a brace. This small change, this one vital truth, may be the most powerful preventative action you take. The payoff is protecting your brain from the silent, compounding damage of nightly compression. You might not feel it happening, but your blood vessels remember, your brain remembers, and one morning your body may react. We've journeyed through so much today, from the simple habit of what you eat before bed, all the way to this vital truth about sleeping on your right side. Each of these insights is a tool, a piece of knowledge that hands the power back to you. Most strokes that happen during sleep are not random acts of fate. They are often the result of routines we never questioned and habits we never knew were harmful. But you know now, and that knowledge is your protection. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, don't see it as just an ending to your day. See it as the most important work you will do for your health. Elevate your head, support your neck, sleep on your left side. Create a space that heals, not harms. Because when you protect your sleep, you protect everything. Your memories, your words, your independence. You protect the very essence of who you are. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these insights resonated with you the most? Was it the danger of the recliner, or perhaps this vital truth about sleeping on your right side? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this journey valuable, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more insights to help you live your healthiest life. Thank you for watching. Sleep well and sleep wisely.